y'all hear
man.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We
Yeah,
just
we
can't
hear
see
you.
you.
Can't see you.
I just see a big old LONIC.
Uh-oh.
There we
Hold
go.
on.
It's blanked out. Here we go. Darkness.
Okay, got it.
Oh shoot.
You over there promoting at the
I was
same
about to say,
time.
right? She gonna be
Did
on
you get
here.
clearance? Did you get clearance for that?
Sparkle.
You over here doing 2 jobs? You
Right.
over here
I literally
selling your jewelry on
She
your
just
job?
got off the air. She just got off
yeah, I
alive.
literally just got off. Like, I legit was like, okay, I got on. I told him, I was like, yeah, we're not going to be that long tonight. I got to go do this. And then I sent Pete a message and was like, I'll be on in 15 minutes. And as soon as I got off, I clicked the link that he sent.
It's all good.
Like, I literally transitioned just that fast. And then I was like, oh, I forgot I need headsets for this one.
No, it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
It is all good, man. Hey, man,
You know, on the
before we,
Facebook Live,
I know
talk
Rod's
to
trying.
myself.
Rod gonna try to get on here. I don't know if Tori gonna get on, but dude, I
Okay.
was sitting there thinking people was talking about you know, like 2003 draft class NBA, and you know it's top heavy.
96.
It's like 96, dude.
Nasty.
Dude, I went back and looked. Man, I gotta pull this back up. Dude,
Nasty.
96.
I
You
remember
forget
watching
the
that draft.
iconic slam cover. If you think about that, when I think
Oh,
Kobe's
that's right.
Yeah.
All them
Kobe's
on
arm
that.
was broke. Yeah, that's Nash and Ray Allen and all kind of people on there, man.
Dude,
So
Nash,
that's
Ray
ridiculous.
Allen, Sharif
Yep.
Abdul. What's
Abdul right
Roof
here.
Abdul
Mhm.
Rahim.
Yes.
Yep.
Eric Dampier. Even though he wasn't that great, but he was still good at the time.
Dude, Todd.
Was
I
good
think
at the
Todd.
They
time.
had names. They had names though.
Jay, you gonna love this one. Todd
Uh-oh.
Fuller, NC State.
Mhm.
Todd
Fuller.
Fuller.
Was Googs in there? Wasn't that Googliata draft?
Hold on, I don't know, man.
Might have
Hold
been.
on, man.
That's
Googs draft?
hilarious.
This thing, like, but I'm just saying, like, these were dudes, you know, like in college, like, but I'm just looking at the overall draft and like, okay, here we go. Stephon Marbury,
Yeah, Marbury Iverson.
Yeah.
And all
Antoine
of
Walker,
Yeah.
Kerry Kittles, K
Kittles.
squared out of
Mhm.
Villanova,
That
Samaki
serious
Walker,
class.
Mhm.
They had,
Hey,
I mean, just
Asia.
names.
Peja
Yeah.
Stojakovic,
Right, Stojakovic. Yep.
Vinny,
Kobe.
yeah.
Jay, Tony Delp,
Mm.
Walter
A bucket.
McCarty.
Yeah.
Vitaly Potapenko.
Oh my God.
That's
Zadronis.
kind of crazy.
Jay,
Yeah.
your beloved.
Zadronis
Ilgauskas.
I'm telling you, dudes. I mean, the thing
Hold
is,
up.
it was like
Oh,
it was
God,
solid.
sorry.
They were,
Hold on,
but
hold
everybody was solid pros.
We ain't finished.
I can't.
Jermaine O'Neal.
Yeah.
There
Late.
you go.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
greats. They were greats and solid pros throughout
Yeah.
that draft.
Derek
it was one of
Fisher.
Absolutely.
Derek Fisher.
Yep.
I mean,
was in that
solid
draft.
pros.
Oh
10-year
my
vet.
God.
Everybody was like a 10.
Or Othello Harrington, Georgia.
Oh,
Lefty.
Georgetown.
Big lefty.
The
Yeah.
last big man out of Georgetown.
Jeff
My goodness.
McGinnis.
Yep.
Yes.
Jeff
Point guard.
McGinnis.
Yep.
That class was crazy.
Was
Malik-
Donald Williams in
Hold
that
up.
class?
Hold up.
No, he should be older than that, probably. Was he? He might have been a little older than that.
Malik Rose was in that class.
Wow.
Really?
Malik
Eddie
Rose.
Look, really? That's
Malik
crazy.
Rose. Was that Eddie Jones?
Hold up. No, Eddie Jones was
Yeah,
before.
he was already
Eddie
in there.
Jones was already there because remember
Alright.
when Kobe
That's
got
why
there.
Kobe didn't play.
That's why Kobe came off the bench because Eddie
That's
George
right.
was
That's
like
right.
started off as a.
That's right. He was the starting two. That's right.
Right. Yeah, him and Nick Van Exel.
Did I miss any
That's
names?
right.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
right.
the Junkyard Dog, Jerome Williams.
Williams.
Wow. JYD. Yeah. Solid pros.
And
Everybody
last
was a
one,
great
last
or a
one,
solid pro.
last one, Syracuse, John Wallace. Remember that dude?
Solid pro.
Solid pro, man. These
That's the best top to bottom.
How did I
Top to
miss the
bottom.
one at the top? Marcus
We don't
Camby.
get that.
Canby.
Right. Camby.
Number 2 pick overall.
Yeah.
This class was a beast.
They don't
sorry.
have classes like that anymore.
No,
they all did.
None.
Cats don't want to be great.
And here's the thing with you. So like,
They don't want to be great no more.
Camby was a junior, freshman. Ray Allen, junior. But as you go down, right, you get it to like pick 10, 11, 12, senior. Okay,
Othello Harrington,
Kobe
senior.
comes out of high school, senior. Cat from Greece. Okay,
Jermaine O'Neal, high school.
O'Neal from right here, Columbia. Then senior, overseas, senior. Like once you get to like pick 9 and 10, it's like all seniors are cats from overseas, man.
Yeah.
That is crazy. That is crazy, man. Well, I'm glad we got on maybe a night tonight instead of last night, because I was still kind of just like, dude, I was at work. I was at work yesterday, like, and like every now and then when I go to work, I won't even go to my desk area. I'll go like down into the little bistro cafeteria area and get me a little booth, just kind of hide out. And that was, and I just do that just to do it. But yesterday I ain't had no choice, because I was just sitting there like I'm literally sitting here feeling like I just lost a family member or something. Like, I'm like, what in the world? Why am I feeling like this? But
yeah, it was weird.
And I've been addicted to social media, just looking at all of the different celebrities and all the different people. I mean, you don't expect that from
Gold cast,
but you expect that from the NBA family and the WNBA family. Like, I mean, he played for 20 years and he's, involved with everything. But like when you listen to cats like Jimmy Fallon and, different people. And
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, all these cats. I'm just like,
and I haven't been able to watch Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon. Everybody talked about the tributes and shows they did.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was gonna watch it earlier today, and I said, I can't watch that. When I got home, I was gonna watch it, and I said, nope, won't be able to finish it.
I'm gonna tell you.
Watch that first.
Well,
can't do it.
I mean, and like I said before, I'm not gonna try to sit here and be, try to say anything nobody else has already said, because everybody, everybody devastating, tragedy, sad. I already posted my whole thing about being a father of having daughters and
girl dad, man,
having a helpless feeling, just like, man, he couldn't do nothing to protect his child. The dude died being a father, doing a father thing. Like he was taking this girl to the game to coach and be there. But it, like some of the testimonies, man, I'm gonna tell you the one that really messed me up, and I actually just saw it. Man, they had Shaquille O'Neal on TNT, I think tonight.
Yeah, that was rough. That was rough.
Oh,
Shaq was rough.
Dude.
Shaq was the roughest thing I've seen since it was the roughest I've seen since L. Duncan. L. Duncan had me hurt.
Oh, L. Duncan messed everybody up yesterday.
Yeah, that was tough.
Did you see that one?
Yeah.
I posted it back. I had to repost it.
Yeah.
I was like, whew. I said, this is the worst one. I said, this is the hardest one.
Yeah.
Out of everything I seen, that was the hardest one.
Because again, it translates past sports and everything. That goes to being as a father and a human being, and that's the story that she told. And so anybody that can resonate with anybody. So that it hurts, man. And Tracy McGrady had words that would take it as well, whatever. So it's tough, man. It's tough.
I don't know if y'all, I posted it in the group, but Bill Plaschke's article where he wrote.
I didn't get a chance to read all that.
I haven't read it yet.
I read some of that.
I was like, okay, that's exactly how I was feeling, because he was just like, this is the hardest article I've ever had to write. And he started with Kobe is gone, and he's like, and that's just so wrong. And that was exactly how I was feeling. Like when I was standing in my living room, I was flipping the channel just to flip the channel to the Pro Bowl. And after the kickoff, when he made that announcement, I was just standing in my living room, mouth wide open, and was like, that sounded like he said Kobe Bryant was dead at 41, but that can't be right.
Right.
I was just like, that's bad information. You can't report that.
I was the girl. So I followed. I'm huge, like the biggest fan of the girls Carolina team with Don Staley.
Yeah.
And they were about to play, and my wife called. She was at the store, and she called, and she said, "Turn on CNN right now." And I was like, "What?" She was like, "Kobe Bryant." She's like, "I think Kobe Bryant is dead." And I was like, what? And when she said it, it was surreal, but it wasn't like I was sitting there thinking, because she doesn't follow sports like that, but she knows names, right? So I'm thinking she ain't gonna get that wrong, right? So so I'm sitting there, and I literally I picked up the remote, and I was like, and I just got Spectrum, so I don't even know the channels like that. So I'm like flipping through down and scrolling, and man, I got to that channel, and they showed that thing. And CNN hadn't reported it. But she had just told me to go there because, we just think headline news. So I got on my phone and I started scrolling through. And then I saw that Yahoo thing. And then next thing you know, TMZ. Then next thing you know, I was like, oh my God, is this real? Yeah. And I just, I ain't even like speechless. Like, what do you say? And then of course, after that moment, the next thing I thought about, they were like, up to 5 people could have been on there, and I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Not the whole
I was
family.
like, oh my God, I hope his family's not on that. You know, like you start thinking like that.
Right.
And then
Because ABC did a breaking news and interrupted ESPN's broadcast for the Pro Bowl.
Oh, okay.
Right after that, and I had like grabbed my phone because my phone had been going off. Phil and them were texting me, but I was doing other stuff, so I was like, I don't know what they're talking about. I'll check it later. And when I pulled up the phone, that's what they were texting about. But everybody was like, that can't be right. You got this from so and so. Nobody else is reporting it.
Yeah.
Kobe's not dead. Like, and then all of a sudden it was, oh wait, it's here. And then when they did the breaking news, but at the end of their breaking news on ABC, they said speculation is all 4 of his kids were on there with him.
Right.
And I was just like,
right.
Oh my, like that was awful.
Oh, you lose it. You lose it. I mean, that right there, just a note that thought of that. You just lose it.
Punched. And I was just like, has anybody checked on Vanessa? Because that is horrible. And then they were like, oh no, his kids weren't on there. And I was like, okay, that's good. And then I was thinking, well, I hope Vanessa wasn't on there with him because then that's horrible for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But then when it came back and they were trying to figure it out, and then they finally confirmed that Gigi was on there, I was just like, this is the absolute worst.
And as bad as it is, that's one thing that I guess, you know, they had foresight, or they just had the sense to know that he actually had a pact with Vanessa. They agreed that they would never ride those things together, whatever, man. And that was smart.
That was
within itself. But it's just so interesting. You know, he was a dynamic guy with multiple layers, and then you can kind of even see that in depth. One thing that kind of drew a lot of people to him, we talked about earlier, the player movement and everything, how Kobe, you know, wasn't on that, staying in one city. Well, he also wasn't a guy that we see now. It's a lot of, you know, maybe from the AAU circuit and everything, that culture, guys, you know, are friendly and click up and everything. And Kobe didn't really seem to care about any of that kind of stuff. He just wanted the ball. And now in his passing, absolutely, he was focused. In his passing, you see that he clearly transitioned and evolved into another guy, because everybody has a Kobe Bryant story. And it's amazing. Like,
that's the thing. That's why I've been addicted to social media. That's why I've been addicted.
He was a bridge.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the thing is that it was what I found, because like you said, Oren, so many people were like, he didn't talk to anybody. He wasn't friends with anybody in the league. But I was like, Kobe he absolutely, I guess, was, but he wasn't somebody that was going to do that in public.
Right.
That wasn't his thing. And
on the court,
Well, Kobe was. Go ahead.
Another thing that I found interesting, because people always talked about how standoffish he was from his teammates and stuff, and I didn't think about it until yesterday. Jay Adonde, he was talking with, I can't remember who it was, but he was on, of course, ESPN on one of the shows, talking with somebody and talking about, because, you know, he reports out in LA, so he was there for Kobe for his whole career. And they were talking about Kobe in the beginning and whatnot. And he was like, well, people forget, when Kobe came into the league, he was 18.
He was young. He was a kid.
And he said,
17 actually.
He was like, you know, he said,
couldn't hang out.
We're going out to drink and hang out. He couldn't go. He said,
so he went to the gym.
It wasn't that he didn't necessarily want to go. Legally, he couldn't. He said so. He went to the gym, and people called him standoffish. Yeah, people called him standoffish, but he was like, you can't do what you can't do. And so, and I said, you know what? I never really thought about that. He was 17 when he first came into the league. He couldn't go to no clubs. He couldn't drink. He couldn't do any of that stuff.
He couldn't even sign his contract. His parents had to sign his contract with him because he wasn't 18 years old.
And here's the other thing: he didn't drive. He couldn't drive because he never got a license. He didn't get his license until he got to LA.
That's why Jerry West was really jacked up on TNT tonight, because Jerry West was like, I was basically this kid's dad for like 2 years. The first 2 years in the league, you know, his parents were with him, but when his parents weren't with him, Jerry West was basically his dad.
Yeah,
so
Jerry messed me up too.
Jerry West he's really bad right now. And one of the things I was telling the guy today at work, I was like, the thing with Kobe, I said I was never a fan I was actually, obviously when it was the Shaq versus who you like better, Shaq or Kobe. I was a Shaq guy. But the thing is, it was that as you get older and you really, in Kobe was basically people of our age. He was the bridge between the new school and the old school.
Mm-hmm.
For people that were too young to see a lot of Magic and Bird,
right,
but were able to see all of Jordan but mature enough to see, LeBron and Wade, but Kobe was the in between.
Yeah.
He was somebody he was basically watching Magic, Larry, and Jordan growing up, watching all those old tapes, seeing how they did things. Then he met these guys. He was basically a new school guy with old soul.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was able to transition it bring the old school to the new school in his own way, in a way that translated. So then you got people that liked Kobe's style of play, that would be kind of like a new version of Jordan. You got your Iverson lovers he was bringing in a smaller brand of basketball for people that were not going to be the classic 6'6", 6'4" people. You got your big man with the Shaqs, and then you get, going into the Dwight Howards and other big men. But Kobe was somebody where if you were older, you liked the way he played because he was old school. If you were new school, you liked the way that he had the flair of Jordan, but he wasn't exactly him. He could, Kobe, like LeBron said, had no flaws offensively. Yeah. He didn't like posting, but you learned how to do it, And he shot the three better than Jordan, shot free throws better than Jordan. Mid-range was probably right there with him. You know what I'm saying? Handles, I think, were better than Jordan. He had handles probably more like a point guard.
Yeah, he added that flavor to his game. So yeah,
that's right. He had crossover flavor. I mean, think about it. When did Kobe lose the ball? When you watched him, when was he out of control? Never. He always had handles. He never. That was something that he got from his Philly side, where he learned the East Coast style of taking care of the ball and being able to move, with the ball and do what you want with it. So he was just a good bridge where if you may not like him, but you respected him because he had old school soul
mentality, but a new school flavor.
Exactly, but he just brought it, and especially the other thing is that, and they said this when he was coming out, was that, because I know with Garnett they didn't say this. They said this with Kobe. They were just like, he could have went to college. It was no problem. He was smart enough. He had all the test scores. Everything was fine. He could have went, but he didn't have to because he was good enough. But you could see from, especially towards the retirement side, when he was right on the back nine or on the 18th, 17th green. I mean, it was like he was investing in these tech companies. He was doing this content, the detail stuff. He was doing all this stuff on the side, and it was almost like, they said that he wasn't all hanging out, buddy or whatnot. I'm like, man, this man was setting up his career for post-retirement. And the sad thing is that you got cats like Iverson where I'm just like, can you transition? And it's like, you want Kobe showed guys how to do it. Magic showed guys how to do it. And he took from the old school to the new school.
Right.
And he was just a good way of doing it.
But Jay, go ahead. But Jay, that's the thing though. Nobody's Kobe. That's Kobe. Like we can't. Iverson is not Kobe. And as much as I love me some Allen Iverson, hometown Philly, the whole nine. That's why we're talking about this dude in that way. Because, okay, I'll put it this way: the reason why I like Kobe is because of the fact of the discipline that you saw the discipline oozing out of his body. You saw the fundamentals. You saw the determination. Like you don't have to be there for the workouts. You can tell just by looking at how he played on the court. This dude was putting in the work, man. And still, even when he had his flaws and had his issues, somebody was reporting talking about, we talk about Kobe, we got to bring up the rate. No, you don't have to. You already seen the stories. It's documented, well documented. But at the end of the day, he embraced it. obviously it looks like if somebody said, he came out on the other side of that, a different person, but he was still, he was a different person outside of the game, but he was still the same person inside the game. Because you saw it. And he never wavered. Like, this dude would never, like you said, you never saw him lost the ball. I never saw this dude take a play off. I never saw this dude not want to win. I never saw this dude.
I disagree with that.
You think
he took Phoenix off. He took the Phoenix game off, and he
passed
everybody. When he passed everybody, he was like, "I'm gonna let y'all see that y'all need me, so I'm gonna pass everybody." He took one game.
You bringing that up? Okay, that was
a 20 years. Damn if you don't.
He was on strike. He was on strike that one game.
But sometimes you have to be I'm gonna show you better.
You have to be a show, but
sometimes you just got to be like, I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you.
But you know what?
Like a parent.
I wasn't even mad at Kobe when he did that. He was
like a parent. But one of the things that like made me so sad is that talking about his transition, a lot of guys, even with Magic Johnson, like he came out on the other side after retirement and has done great and amazing things, but it took him a minute to find his feeding and figure out what he was going to do. And, because most guys, they retire and you don't hear from them for a year or two, and then they pop back up and you're like, oh, you're still here. Kobe seamlessly transitioned like he did in the game where he made up his mind, I was going to be the best. I'm going to be a champion. When it was time to retire, he was like, I'm going to retire, but I'm going to do whatever I got next just as well. Because he won the Oscar, a year after he retired? Bruh.
Yeah, but truth be told, the Lakers were trash though. So he was like, oh, we're going to be trash for a while. So I can kind of plan this out for the last couple of years. He said, I'm eating up 50% of the payroll, and these guys suck. So I'm like, yeah, I might as well I can transition that much better, because as soon as I'm done, I'm out of this.
But I think to your point, Lenise, that's why I think a lot of us feel the way we do, and a lot of people like we don't. I never met him. I can't assume you guys have met him, but you still feel like there's that emptiness now, because you knew how much he had put into his basketball game. Right. You're sitting there looking at, man, you can only imagine this man winning an Oscar. This dude already doing, this dude. They said there was a hidden story where this dude said he wanted to be the next Walt Disney. Like he was like about to put in that work to try to do.
Yeah. He found what he loved.
And my thing was I was like, because I remember when I was watching the Oscars when they announced it, and they were like, oh, Kobe Bryant, and I was like, so he's good at everything he does. Like, that's really annoying.
Right.
And then impressive at the same time.
At the same time, it's like that. Really? At the same time, you like, this dude.
Everything.
That's him. That's him.
You gotta respect the game, man. You had to respect the game.
You don't suck at nothing. Like
that's like him coming in, being a savant and a basketball savant and being great from a young age, and then to your point, putting that time in, and so much time and effort and dedication to his craft that he didn't feel like I had anything else that I need to get out of basketball. So while other guys tried to go into coaching or they do commentating, he was done with it. He was done with that love, and that was so amazing for somebody to love something that much and be able to give it and be able to give it up, because they knew they would get ready to put that into something else.
Like,
so no disrespect to you guys, Ice Cube. I'm not doing the big three. I'm not doing it. I'm doing this right here, and I'm gonna be really, really good at this. And he was just that quick.
But then to your point, Oren, then he does that, and then boom, then Gigi comes.
Yeah.
And then have y'all gone? I mean, look, I'm gonna tell you what. I don't normally LeBron's kid, Michael Jordan's kids, a lot of people playing Shaq's kids, all these folks got kids. It's like, all right, they're they're playing high school ball, they're playing, all right, they're really good. Okay, maybe. And then I went and I started looking, of course you get drawn in, right? Okay, now, she dies, and you go start looking at some videos, and I'm like searching and looking for clips. Like, this girl was actually really pretty good. My God.
Yeah.
I was like, this girl was good.
Yeah, we talked about that Sunday, because I reached out to Oren on Sunday and another classmate of ours, and I texted him. and we were talking back and forth about that. And I was like, listen, I had seen some of the clips of Gigi before she passed away, just because I was intrigued by the fact, and I thought it, and me being a daddy's girl when I was younger, I was so caught up in the whole, oh, one of his girls actually loves basketball. And I remember him saying, he was like, I didn't watch the game until she got into it. Like after he was done with basketball, he was done. She got into basketball, so he started watching it with her. And so every little clip, all the snippets that they would always show when Vanessa would put stuff up from practice, I was all in. So I had seen it. And, you know, like we were talking about that on Sunday. I was like, you could tell she was about to be a problem.
She had it. Yeah.
She had it. And then I watched I think he was on Jimmy Fallon. It might have been Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel. It was Kimmel.
It was Kimmel. Okay. And he was talking about her. And he was like, oh, she's better than I am when I was her age. And I was like, that is scary.
Look, Tracy McGrady was like balling out. Tracy McGrady, he just broke down. He was like, the girl at 13 had a turnaround jump shot. And I looked and I saw the clip. I was like, okay, it's legit. Like it was a legit turnaround jump shot. But I will make this point though. Like she brought him back to basketball, but I think the one underlying point that I think some people might be missing or whatever is brought him back to not necessarily back to basketball, but he could look at it on a level of teaching, look at it on a level of like towards those golden years, right? In the stretch, he was trying to tell these dudes, like one of the dudes said, Richard Jefferson or Jay Williams was like, this dude was telling me where to go in the triangle before I could go in the triangle, and he on defense telling me where to go, you know. And I think that was probably the thing that probably intrigued him the most is that he could look at basketball from a different flight level. You know what I'm saying? I gotta but I'm teaching the game, and I'm gonna teach it to her, and I'm gonna teach it to any young cat that want to learn, whatever the case. Have y'all ever watched any of these details on ESPN?
It's crazy. They're amazing.
This dude,
they are. Yes. And what I remember when we were talking on Sunday, Oren made the point, because we were talking about the clip that has circulated now so many times when they were at the basketball game, and he was talking to her and, you know, showing her different
the Brooklyn
things.
game. The next game.
In New York.
Yeah. And Oren made the point, and because I had said, I was like, she was about to be a problem. And Oren was like, yeah, she had that look on her face like, I got the cheat codes.
Yeah. I'm gonna kill them. I'm gonna destroy them. They're not even ready. And and that was something that was to T Mac's point as well. I think somebody else mentioned it too, is that she wasn't shying away from it. She was embracing that. And that might be probably why Kobe wasn't tripping on not having no son. Because he's like, oh, I got one that's gonna carry his name. She's a little monster or whatever, though, man. And so,
when you get, and even like the pictures, if you, like Pete, you said you went through and watched the videos and stuff. If you saw like the actual clips of her in game action, she was
eerie in it. It's eerie in it.
Face
was very.
Like, she wasn't here to talk to anybody. We
her face.
Fun.
She had one expression on her face the entire game, like just. I'm like watching all these. I'm like, this girl's facial expression's not changing. Her demeanor's not changing. She get that ball. She's looking to attack. If not, I'm open for the J. I'm shooting it. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe these are clips. But then you start looking at more clips. I'm like, nah, this is her. This is
her game.
That's her game. Yeah, I mean,
she was all in. And I would just look at that. I mean, I was like, she's got the Mamba mentality. Like she's got that. Like that was her thing. And I am so disappointed
and I get
that we're not going to see that come to fruition. It was going to be amazing.
And the other thing is that the dedication, and I guess the weird thing is that I think I've grown. You know, I turned 40 this past year, and I guess what I found, I guess with the, I guess with the last, especially with parenthood and us moving around and having to make changes and things, especially in these last 3 years, I think is when, like this last role I've had with my job, I haven't been able to do outside stuff because the parenting just got that much busier, right? Now we got, instead of one, we got two. And the job is a job where, in my opinion, you need to have, you can't do a bunch of outside stuff, at least, you know, not like I did. Pete know far too well that I was doing a little bit of everything and just spreading myself probably too thin. And I feel like the last few years, I was just like, man, I just can't do this other stuff. I got too much going on. So I'm going to focus on 2-3 things and just, you know, roll with that. And that's about all I can do. And I guess now seeing the dedication level that Kobe had at a young age of what he was trying to do, it's amazing to me, because I know I didn't have that type of focus on my work, as people should, you know. And Oren, you said you know you went to law school, right? So you know, so you would probably and I guess that we all went to college, right? So you have to have that focus. But I guess with Kobe at a young age, having that laser focus, knowing that he has to dedicate all his time to his craft, and with the job role I've had these last few years, is that to get to a certain point of success, you have to basically say, I got to empty out. I have to isolate myself and dedicate myself to doing this to be at a certain level. And I cannot do other stuff. And you have to accept that.
That's where some of the things come in, like the lack of socializing and even using the helicopter as a form of transportation or whatever. He was doing those things because he knew he wasn't going to change his commitment to the game or whatever, and being great. So I think it might have been Iverson or somebody else mentioned going out there for their first time.
Right. What you doing? I'm going to the club.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm going to the gym, man. And so, you know, like we said, using the helicopter.
And then he was like, where you going? He was like, oh, I'm going to the club. And Kobe was like, going to the gym.
I'm using time to work on my game. I don't have time to play around. Using the helicopter, like we said, I can't be stuck in LA traffic, whatever. I'm trying to get there because I want to be a father, man. I want to get some, even if it's, like you said, even if it's 20, 30 minutes in the car, I'm gonna try to get there to be there for pickup or whatever, so I can have that time, because I'm gonna work. I'm gonna get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm gonna work out, and then I'm gonna go to practice. So I'm not gonna not do that. I'm not gonna, you know, be able to drop you off or whatever, because I'm gonna be gone by then. I'm going to work or whatever. So I'm not gonna sacrifice that, but I will try to, you know, find some other ways. And so that was a laser sharp focus. That was dedication, and that was the hell of a testament to how he was.
Yeah, and they said that the reason he started doing the helicopters, he had missed a school play, stuck in traffic, trying to get back from the gym. And that's when he was like, we need to do something different, because I don't want to miss the school plays, but I'm still going to get all this time in at the gym.
Yeah. What's crazy, they said Kawhi Leonard, they said the guy was Kawhi Leonard's helicopter pilot too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think No, I was going back to like what you was talking about. But I think the thing that, you know, and of course we've heard a bunch of people talk about it, probably people a lot more qualified than us because being close to him, that, you know, the thing was, and I think, you know, I even thought I saw in a video, interview that, you know, Kobe said, you know, even with that God-given talent, he knew he had to put the work in to get to that pinnacle, and then to hold that pinnacle. Like when we look at, you know, anything, right? You look at Serena Williams, right?
LeBron.
You look at LeBron. You look at, I mean, I'm just thinking even outside of basketball, when you look at cats like Usain Bolt, you know, like these athletes, and then you look at music, you know,
Tom
you look
Brady.
and like one of the coolest things, but one of the coolest things that we got access to now, I don't know if y'all have taken or looked at them or tried to take advantage of them. I've looked at one, is like these master classes that they're advertising, where you got some of these brilliant people. Because I was telling somebody, I said, to me, the brilliant, and that's why I watched the detail, you know, Kobe detail and all that, is because I think the thing that hurts me the most about his passing is that we're losing brilliant people early.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When Prince died, he was a little older, but he still had probably more to give us.
Yeah. Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson.
Well, like all these greats that, you know, and so Kobe dies at 41, and you sitting there thinking, I want to see the next episode of Detail. You know, because man, I may not ever be able to do what he's doing, but I can relate because I'm a sports fan, and I can watch him talk about, you know, Brianna Stewart or another NBA player, you know, and I'm like, this dude. And I think that was the thing I'm thinking about is that the brilliance and the aspect of, you know, like some of these greats on the master class, like, you know, I looked at the one with Timbaland, right, and he's telling you how to make these beats and everything, and you thinking if there's one person who can tell you how to make a beat, it's gonna be Timbaland, you know, like,
right.
And I'm thinking like Kobe, and I think that's the
Dr. Dre. I don't want to know about it.
Right, but I'm thinking, you know, we're now without that brilliant mind. That he was doing other things. He was probably gonna be great at other things and all that because he was gonna put the work in. But I'm just saying, even from just the basketball brilliance, like we don't have that anymore. You know, like and it's just a whole. You know, like being a sports fan and being a person that likes to learn and still like even in my 40s, I still like to learn things. Like, you know, I'm inspired. You know, one thing I'm inspired about, this may be weird, but the fact that this dude knew multiple languages, even though he was from, you know, Italy, but it sounded like he knew like 5 or 6 languages and was just kind of holding back on cats.
Well, they talked about that today. I was watching.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they were saying he knew English and I guess
Italian and Spanish.
But he
Mandarin.
learned Spanish until he met Vanessa.
Okay.
They said he actually learned Spanish so that he would be able to talk to her family and her parents, which I did not realize that her dad was actually a migrant worker from Mexico.
Didn't know that.
Yeah,
wow.
So I learned that today, and they said that like one of the things that he did, I guess while they were dating or whatever, and I don't know if that's where he proposed to her or not, but he went to like I guess her favorite childhood Spanish restaurant. And when he went, he was able to actually speak in Spanish. So he learned Spanish so that he would be able to communicate with her family and be able to talk to her and the people that she knew. And when they went and traveled and whatnot, he would be able to communicate with them in their language and talk back to them so that they didn't have to go out of their way to try to learn, you know, flawless English and stuff. He learned Spanish for her.
And this is going to sound crazy and weird, but I mean, just think about that for a quick second. You know, I'm not saying that Kobe Bryant ain't the only person that ever learned Spanish, but at the same time, we're talking about Kobe Bryant learning Spanish. I've been trying to learn Spanish for 20 years, and I ain't put in the work.
At all.
You know, I put in the work for like a couple of months, you know, or and I'll look at the little, you know, I got the Babel, what's that, Babel or whatever it is, you know, like
Babel. Yep.
You know, and it's like,
my thing is, when did he had a time? Because when they said that, I was like, when he met Vanessa, they were starting their championship run. Because I remember, I wasn't their second championship. She was there at the locker room door.
I think so.
Something like that. Because he wasn't old. Because she was barely out of high school, and he was young too.
She was a senior.
He was like 20. He was like 21. 21.
Yeah, 21. And
she was like 18, I guess.
Yeah, she was a senior in high school. I remember that because. And I was like, first of all, because I remember joking when they ran the thing and whatnot. I said, first of all, ma'am, you can't go in there because they is popping champagne for real. You can't drink none of that. So, but I'm like, when did he find the time to learn Spanish?
Right.
That was during your championship runs. Everybody knows you on the grind. Right. So you didn't sleep at all? I mean.
It's a different guy.
Be a different dude.
Even a story before his passing, Luka Doncic. I don't know who was playing who was playing the Mavericks. Maybe it was the Lakers or whatever.
It was Dallas. Dallas was in the Staples Center.
Yeah, Dallas in the Staples. And he said he turned around. He heard somebody speaking his native language. And I forget. I'm sorry. What part of Europe he's from? And he said he turned around. It's Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Slovenia or something like that maybe. Yeah. And so when we learned it, Kobe learned it when he was playing with the guard that was there with Jordan Farmer.
Oh man.
I know who you're talking about.
You know
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If we weren't trying to think about it right now, it'll come to us. But he learned some words from him or whatever, man. He was just a different guy, man. And I guess that's part of that duality we talked about with him, where he was old school enough to take the All-Star game seriously and know that he had the plan for the second part of his career, but also go to the Rucker and play in the Rucker with Air Force One's on. And make a rap album and make a rap song where he met the girl on the video shoot or whatever.
People forget about that.
That's Kobe.
People forget about that. People forget about that.
Hold on one second.
People forget about
I'd I'd like to retract one of my statements. I said he was good at everything. Okay, Kobe the rapper was trash.
Stop.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
Stop.
the rapper was all right.
Look, just because, yeah.
Kobe,
was
Kobe the rapper was
He
trash.
was okay. He was okay. We'll
Because
just
Kobe the rapper was not.
Hey,
the man is dead. I'm at least say
I'm
he
not
was
gonna.
okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I mean, but
Listen,
and
Kobe will respect my honesty and candor because you know he didn't pull no punches. I will go ahead and say it. Kobe the rapper was trash. Okay, that was
Try a
not
little
his
bit of
ministry.
everything. He
And
certainly
shout,
did a
shout
little bit
out
of
to him
everything.
for knowing.
like I said,
Shout out
man.
to him for knowing. You know what?
Yeah.
I don't ever need to make another rap record. I'm not good at that. Okay.
That's it. That's
But
it.
like I said, man, you know, like you know, just to kind of cap me for, you know, cap it. I mean, there's gonna be plenty of thoughts that go through my mind about this cat, man. But like you said, I mean, you know, like I'm, you know, if I think about, you know, like the basketball skills and like you said, he bridged the old school maybe to the new school in that sense and everything. But the thing about it is, it's like the thing I think I loved about Kobe is that, you know, this dude never ever, like, you never got the sense that he cared about failing, and he just took everything
He did.
straight
He-
on. Like
he
there
did.
was nothing, like you never got a feeling when he was doing his thing on the court that like you can sit there and be like, oh man, he's taking too many shots. Oh, this and everything. Like we've all said that. Like we all, let's be real. Like we've all been like, man, hey, Kobe took a lot
Was
of
it the night
shots.
in Utah when he shot on the air balls?
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
Mhm.
but I'm saying
Yeah,
we've
when-
all, but
Yeah.
nobody.
When they asked him about it, he was like, they were like, why'd you keep taking the shots? He was like, they felt good, bruh. They were air balls. What you talking about?
But what I'm saying is that nobody, if anybody go, they've never said anything like Kobe taking too many shots. Oh my God, you know, maybe it was his fault because of shot. You know, he's not coachable. Like all these things. But then when you take a step back and look at it in its totality, and the results of what he got from it, you gotta kind of, you know, you gotta look back. It's like you look at it from a different lens. Like you said, maybe it's because I'm older. Maybe because, you know, I was a little more emotional when I was young and I was going too extreme one way or the other. But I'm like, this dude, basically, like there was never a time when you felt cheated when you watched Kobe. You was getting a show. You was
Right.
getting,
But
well,
that's
you know what I'm saying? You were getting
that's the old
some,
school that taught him that.
that's,
Yeah.
but even that though, but Jay, even that though,
watching him play live.
but that was the thing, man. Like this, like that, and I did have the pleasure to see him play a couple times. And when they came to Indiana, played the Pacers a couple of times, and so I can at least say I saw Shaq and Kobe play with each other, and I saw, you know what I'm saying, like I got that under my belt, and he put on the show. The Pacers won the game somehow. I'm still trying to figure that out.
You don't know how.
Yeah, I was sitting on the second half. I was sitting, actually I technically got dunked on by Shaq because I was right behind the basket. and Shaq, man, dudes, just big dudes. But anyway, man, but you know, it's just one of those things, man. I mean, you know, this dude was just, I mean, 20 years, man. 20 years, and never, in my opinion, you got entertained. And this dude, you knew his work ethic, mama mentality, all that stuff. This dude was a different cat, man. He was just a different cat.
But even like what you were saying with the whole the thing where he didn't feel the failure thing. One of the things that I saw in an interview that he said, and it's something that I'm trying to make sure I do. He got it from his family, and I'm trying to make sure I do the same for my girls. And I want to make sure that, and I have to. It's two things. He said in an interview, he was like, I played basketball. I didn't score one basket all season. No free throws, no nothing. And he felt disappointed. So his dad said, look, I will love you regardless of what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Just try. You know, he basically said, if you're trying, I'm fine. He's like, it doesn't matter, you know. And he said, after that, I was good, you know. So then he was like, I wasn't scared to fail. And I remember my dad, you know, I remember playing football and we getting smashed. And I'm out here playing both sides of the ball. And I'm coming, you know, I remember getting home and
never retell the story.
Yeah, I remember coming home and I just sat down at the kitchen table and just started crying. And my dad is like, what is wrong with you? My mom was like, what is wrong? I was like, I'm out here playing my butt off. and it means nothing. We're losing. And it doesn't, and I was like, it didn't mean anything. I said, what am I doing? And my dad was like, look, you have to, he said, if you play every play 100% and give it the best that you can do every time, that's all I want you to do. And that's all you can do. You can't tackle everybody every play. You can't make every play for everybody. Everybody has to do their job. So do your job. That's all you can do is give 100%, and you got to let the rest fall where they fall. And if you did that and you try hard, and he said, then I'm fine. And then the other side of that, so now Kobe feels like, okay, no matter what, they're not disappointed in me. So after that, Kobe's like, okay. Now the other side of it is that Kobe he said, okay, I may be talented, but I don't know. So the only way I'm gonna counteract that is I have to put in the work. I don't know if I'm talented enough. And then, like you said, Warren, I gotta Pete, I gotta maintain a certain level. So he put in the shots
because cats are coming.
Right. So he put in the shots. So basically, going back to Utah, like when he said they felt good, but the thing is that he didn't have a fear of failure because he was like, I'm gonna put in the work, and the work is gonna come through at some point. So I put in the work when people don't know I'm putting in the work. So I'm confident that things are going to happen the way they are because I'm putting in the work the right way at times that people when they're sleeping, I'm working. Yeah. And I'm putting in the right work the right way because I've asked, I've researched, I've talked to people that are successful, and they've told me this is how I need to put in the work. And then he's figured out how to do it for himself, So it's putting in the work and feeling like because I'm putting in the work, I'm not going to fail because I'm outworking the failures. The people that'll fail is because I'm outworking them, so I won't fail.
And I'm gonna piggyback off that and then let Lanice cap it off because that was my mentality as well. When you think about, well, how did he become so? For somebody that started out being aloof and almost a loner, how did he become so revered and relatable? And I think it's work. And the final results of everything with LeBron James just passing him, they bear that out. You have Elvin Hayes, a monster. You have Moses Malone, a monster. You have Dirk Nowitzki, one of the first unicorns, a 7-foot guy shooting jump shots. You have Shaquille O'Neal, a super monster. LeBron James, a super monster. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, a freak of nature. Wilt Chamberlain, a freak of nature. Y'all, I'm 6'6", 235, hopefully be 230 or something soon, whatever. There's two guys on that list that are regular sized guys like me. It's Michael Jordan and it's Kobe Bryant. That just comes from work. They're not monsters. They're not freaks. They're not monsters. They were super athletic or whatever though. That just came from work, man. That just came from footwork. From you just talk about ball handling, right hand, left hand. Whatever. Like Kobe was shooting balls with his left hand at one point, or whatever though, man. When I think something happened to his wrist or something like that. That's just work, and that's what anybody can relate to, man. I think that, and then the last part of this chapter would being a father and transition to that. That anybody could relate to or whatever though, man, and loving your family and trying to cherish that time. And so, yeah, man, if you can take anything from it, man, you can take that from it, man. You can take to cherish each day, man. Enjoy your family and put in the work, man, and work hard, man. Chips fall man.
Yeah, like John Morant right now is the newest version. When I saw his story with his dad and him jumping on these tires, coming out of nowhere, and because his dad played with Ray Allen, right? Played with Ray Allen down in South Carolina, and from what I see with John Morant right now, I'm like, he's a new version of putting in the work from a long ways away, because he was not, I think his dad was saying, he was like, man, he was short for a long time. He finally broke through physically, but he was putting it, had this boy jumping on monster truck tires, over and over again, doing these drills in the backyard and all this, because his son was like, I'm trying to do this. So he says, all right, well, let's do it. And John Moran out here being a beast, just coming in hooping, but
that I did not start out a Kobe fan. when he first came into the league. And I don't know
Yeah,
if it
me
was
neither.
because I don't know if it was because he was from Philly, and since he was in high school in Philly and stuff. Like I was like, okay, Kobe Bryant's going into the league. We had seen more of him than most people nationally because he was in Philly, so he was our guy.
I can tell you why
But
you want a fan. Because he beat our Sixers in the finals.
no,
The
I
one
mean
chance we had.
The
no,
Lakers
no,
The
coming in.
one
no,
chance we
no, wait,
had.
wait, no,
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 I'm just kidding. I'm
wait,
messing. I'm messing. I'm messing.
you're so
I'm
crazy.
messing. Go
Wait,
ahead.
way before then, I was not a Kobe fan, and I will actually say it was the beef between Kobe and Shaq.
Oh yeah, that's why
When
I was a Shaq guy.
no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. That's when I became a Kobe fan. I first
Oh,
became a
okay.
Kobe advocate because everybody was on Kobe because he did not seem personable. He
I'm
wasn't
with
out
you.
there.
I'm with
And
you.
Shaq was the likable guy in
I'm
the
with you.
media. He was
Kobe
that
was the
guy.
snitch. Kobe was the
Well,
snitch.
no, because that wasn't then. That wasn't then. That was you talking about the rape case. That was not the issue. I'm talking about when they were
Okay, all right.
and Kobe was like, I want the ball more. And Shaq was like, no, it goes through me. And Kobe was like, I need to have the ball more. And then Kobe basically was like, well, I mean, if you're gonna have the ball more, you should come to camp in
And
shape
put in the work.
and put in the work. So that was that beef.
That's the motto.
And
Put in the
when
work.
everybody was like, oh, but Kobe's this, he's arrogant, he's blah 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 blah. And that is when I became a Kobe advocate. Because I wasn't a fan prior to that. But my thing is I was like, y'all just like Shaq because Shaq is a fun dude. He's funny, he's personable. He say super ignorant stuff like I'm the great
Sacramento Queens.
Aristotle. I mean, like
Hmm.
Sacramento
he's
Queens.
just goofy.
Right.
Like he's a big goofy guy.
Right.
So he played well in the media. Kobe didn't because Kobe was always about that business. But my thing was, and what I started pointing out to people all the time is I was like, but is Kobe saying anything wrong? Shaq's a
Nope.
big dude. He's a monster. But
Nope.
Shaq is coming into camp and missing half the season because his feet are bothering.
Right.
Dude, because you're almost 400 pounds. Kobe called you fat because you need to drop weight.
Cats was
Kobe's
sleeping
like,
on Afro Kobe, man.
right. So, Cat, I was like,
Yeah.
y'all are mad
Yeah.
at Kobe because he's told the truth about your hero. He's fat, he's out of shape, and he's not doing what he wants to. And Shaq's thing was, I've earned my off season, so I should take off. Bro, but you shouldn't put on 60 pounds in the off season. What are you eating? Small children?
Right.
So I became a Kobe advocate because I was like, y'all giving a whole lot of drama, especially after Shaq finally left. And my thing was, Kobe couldn't have beefed with Shaq if Shaq wasn't beefing with Kobe. There were two grown men having a disagreement, and honestly, Shaq was older, so he should have known better. Kobe
Yeah.
was still a kid, and people were like, he's arrogant. And I said, well, think back to when you were 17 and 18. How arrogant were you?
19, 20, 21.
I knew
Right.
I was
absolutely
about to say.
everything when I was that age. The difference between me and Kobe is I didn't have a camera and a microphone in front of my face every night. You
Right.
wouldn't have liked me either.
Right.
People don't
I
like me
knew
now.
all of that. I had a chip on my shoulder. You couldn't tell me nothing. I knew everything about the world. The difference is, and I would say the same ignorant stuff and arrogant stuff that Kobe would say. But one of the things that Jay Adane said yesterday when he was on the show, and I really appreciate it, and I was like, that makes sense. They asked him, they were like, you were there doing all of this beef. Why did the Lakers finally choose between Kobe and Shaq? What made them make that decision? And he pointed out, and I was like, that is profound, and I never thought about that in my advocacy for Kobe. He was like, Kobe was younger, which that part everybody knew. And he said, but Kobe was an LA guy. And he said, what people don't think about, people think of LA and they think Hollywood. He said, but have you ever sat and watched the credits of the end of a movie? All of those names you see. He's like, those people are up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning in traffic trying to get to their jobs. Somebody is holding those cameras and doing all that editing. They are there late at night and they are there early in the morning. He's like, LA is a working town and it's a hard working town. And they resonated with Kobe. He was like, the people in the 300 section is who linked and loved Kobe the most because he was a hard worker and they could relate to that. And he was like, and Bus saw that. And that's why they eventually made the decision to keep Kobe and let go of Shaq. And I was like, you know what?
And that's why the city is in the way they reacted.
They revered him. Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? That is absolutely, it wasn't just, he was like, yes, he's been there his whole career. He said, so people grew up with him and they love him. He was like, but he's like, when you think about it, LA is a working town. He said, it's Hollywood, it's glamour, it's glitz. He said, but the majority of the people that live in LA are not Hollywood.
I was about to say that's the top 2 or 3%.
Yeah,
that's the top 2 or 3%. That's the Hollywood piece.
Like
yeah, and you know, and that's what I said. I didn't until he said that.
That's real talk right there.
But we all just talked about his work ethic, his drive.
Because you think Philly.
They said that, I was like, well, you know, when he said
blue
that,
collar.
I was like, the only credits I watch are Marvel because you got to stay through the end because the movie's gonna come back on. But it is about 10 minutes that you're sitting there as the names are rolling and you're like, Lord, is this ever gonna end?
Right.
It was those people that related to Kobe, and that's why they kept him. And I was like, that is actual and factual and impressive. And I guess the foresight, even for, because Kobe was still young, but for the Bus family to see that and know that in the long run, this is the guy we need to keep because this is who our fan base is actually attached to. Even though it didn't come across like, it didn't play like that in the media. In LA, kind of like in Philly, we were all like, okay, Kobe's going to the league, whatever. Because that was a local thing. But in LA, it was a local thing, but it was the fan base, the local fan base. They were linked to Kobe. That's who they loved. To the rest of the outside world, outside of LA, it seemed like everybody was on Team Shaq, which is why I became an advocate for Kobe because I felt like everybody was on Team Shaq. And I was like, but hey, Kobe's not wrong. His delivery might be piss poor.
I was about to say his delivery was probably not the greatest.
Might have been
but
bad.
Again, like you said, in our early 20s, was any of our deliveries, you know, solid.
And I'm gonna be honest, at 45, my delivery still isn't that good. I'm still
right.
I'm gonna just come at you. I never got that tax part down. Now I'm too old to set my ways.
I just thought of something, Jay, and you know, and this ain't, you know, but what was one of the first things I told you when I first met you, and we was working at, you know, I ain't gonna mention the company. You still there actually. And you know, evaluations would come around, you know, or at least I went to Jay, you know, and I remember us having a conversation about something about work, and I remember telling you, I was like you said, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, and you're putting in your 110%, and you're putting in the work, then that's all you can do from the standpoint of the company, and the company has to recognize that level of talent. Like, you can't worry about what the cat doing next to you and over here. Make sure you got your stuff covered. Right. Make sure you good, because when it all hits the fan, you can stand above all that crap and say, I put in the work. Here's where I am. And it's like, I think about things like that. Like, I'm not saying I'm Kobe, but I'm just thinking like, that's the mentality that we're talking about. You know, those are the little, and the pockets of ways that we can take our lives and move forward with, that when we start dedicating ourselves to I'm building a new house. Y'all can see the boxes behind me. You know what I'm saying? When I get to that new house, it's like, okay, little project at work. Let's put in the work. Let me learn how to do, you know, certain things. But you gotta put in the work. And that's, you know, and I tell people, just take care of your business, put in your work. Don't worry about what that cat doing, what this cat. People look at my yard and be like, I can't worry about that cat's yard. I gotta worry about my yard. You know what I'm saying? I gotta worry about like you said, being a father. I can't worry about what's going on with them kids over there or what's happening with your kid in college. I get it. I'm happy for you. I gotta worry about my 4 girls. You know, like that's the mentality that I think we're all talking about when you really sum it up.
And also that he had that mentality, and I think the part that after I became an advocate and then continued my advocacy for Kobe, and I genuinely became a fan because the attitude that he had and the fact that he was so like, this is who I am.
Yep.
And I don't really care if you like it.
That's when
because
he became the Mamba.
and I will never forget when they were trying to get to the next championship and whatnot. And after Shaq was gone and Paul Gasol was there, and people felt some kind of way because after they had lost in that playoff, not the one when they had gotten to the finals against the Celtics and lost and then won the next year. They were in the playoffs. I think it might have been like a year or two before.
He told Paul Gasol, "You better man up."
And he was like, and when it was over, he was like, bruh, you are the best in the league at your position. I'm going to need you to man up because I want another championship. And everybody was like, you can't talk to a grown man that way. And Kobe was like, I did. And I will.
I just did. And I'll do it again.
I
And
don't care.
I don't think anybody on this panel right now had a problem with that because I would have been like, man.
And he was like, I can't. I will.
Gasol didn't have a problem with it.
But guess what? The next year, Paul Gasol out of his mind. And here they were in the NBA Finals. I was like,
back to back.
Right.
Yep,
I was like, listen, Kobe. And people always said Kobe doesn't make people better around him. But I used that example, and I was like, just because you don't like Kobe's delivery, he actually
right. But two things real quick. I heard Candace Parker say something on social media. She said it on TNT tonight, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I've never heard this. It was the first time I heard this. Bosses push, leaders pull. I was like, whoa. Bosses push, leaders pull. And I was like, dang, I love that. I'm using that.
Yeah, I'm using that too.
And I was like, obviously.
Write that one down.
That's probably a pat.
Wait a minute, I'm recording. I got it on tape.
Right. That's probably.
Really? We jot that down.
She said that, but my guess is that's a Pat Summit. But that's just my guess.
Good point.
More or less, it's probably a Pat Summit. But because Pat Summit had
I'm not mad at her for using it.
No, and I think right, and I think that Kobe was pulling these cats to the championship. But the second thing is that's why when Dwight Howard got there and he said, who is this MF that ain't been to the finals? I bet you Kobe, knowing Kobe and LeBron, because the Cavs lost to the Magic that year, to miss the finals. And when they went against Dwight Howard, and then, I think they beat Dwight Howard and them. Yeah. But then when Dwight Howard came to LA, I'm sure Kobe was talking to him and was like, what? This cat made it to the NBA?
He was probably like, I see why we beat y'all. If that's the way you're going to work. If that's the way you're going to work, I see why we beat y'all.
He was probably like, so they put a franchise on your back? And I know I'm out here.
Why I didn't mean the back was strong.
That's right, and exactly right.
I'm gonna use that one too.
Exactly, because I know
use that
Kobe.
That's fine.
Right, that's a good one. Because I know Kobe was like, LeBron, I'm out here busting my butt to beat the man that you beat in the Eastern Conference Final, and I know he putting in work. And you out here doing this stuff, and I'm sure he looked at him and said, "You Shaq Junior, such and such But
the problem is that Dwight Howard wasn't as good as Shaq.
That's even worse. And that's why Kobe was like, oh my God. I can't.
He said, oh my God, what have we done?
What have we done?
Because he was like, because he asked for Dwight Howard. He wanted him to come. And then he was like,
right. And he said, I can't. He said, I can't do. He was like, I can't eat. He was like, where's Powell? Where's Powell?
Go ahead. And I'm gonna have to actually run to it though because I don't think my daughter in bed, so I gotta get.
Okay, yeah.
Lord, yes.
I'm gonna tell y'all this, man. And again, this is the complexity of Kobe Bryant. To that point, Dwight Howard didn't have to be as good as Shaq. You think about Kobe, and again, you say, oh yeah, you think about him. Oh, he was a gunner. Or he was shooting. He was selfish or whatever. Shaquille O'Neal had his only MVP seasons playing with Kobe Bryant. Pau Gasol had his most success in his career playing with Kobe Bryant.
Playing with Kobe.
Andrew Bynum got paid playing with Kobe Bryant. We know all the demons Lamar Odom had Lamar Odom had his only success was the Sixth Man of the Year playing with Kobe Bryant. Derek Fisher played with the Lakers, then went off.
Oh,
didn't do anything.
we know he wrote it. We know he wrote it.
Derek.
That's a
Derek
testament
Fisher
to Kobe,
wrote it,
man.
but Derek Fisher was he wasn't he wasn't a Randy Brown now. He was
no. He was contributor. That's just the point, though, man. That we talked about the leadership and the balls and the leadership, and that's it. Whatever he was trying to pull greatness out of guys, and he had his own way of doing it. But he could mesh with different styles, and he could bring the greatness out of people. And so I love that about him, man. So definitely rest in peace to Mamba and little Mama Cena and all the ones that we lost, man. And that was a great one that's gone too soon, man.
Yeah. But man, like I said, I was wanted to talk about the Super Bowl. I don't even care because I told somebody, I said, Kobe big when I ain't even thought about the Super Bowl.
The game. I think San Francisco will win, but I ain't put no thought to it or whatever, though, man.
I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you watched the media day yesterday, it was covered, and all the players talked about Kobe.
Yeah,
he is one of the athletes.
As well as they should.
That he transcends his own sport.
This is the Super Bowl.
Right.
The biggest game.
Yes. Talking about it.
That's right.
And
let's really think about that.
It's the Super Bowl, and guys at the Super Bowl were like,
I forgot the Grammys was coming on.
That's why it's more than, this is more than Whitney. This is more than Prince. This is more than MJ. Yeah. And I'm not trying to be morbid. This kind of feels like 9/11, man, and how this country stopped or whatever, though, man. And everybody was paying attention to this one thing, and what are we gonna do next? It kind of feels crazy like that, man. Like it's weird out here, man. It's different, man. So that was a hell of a guy that's gone.
This is on Michael. This is Michael Jackson.
They said LA. This is the equivalent of when Michael, and they said this is how it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time, as well as it should.
Like I said this morning when I posted Allen Iverson's statement, I was like, that part at the end. We are not okay. Yeah. But here, Lauren, to your point, I'm gonna say this, and then we can wrap it up.
Okay.
There was a tweet, and I copied it because I was like, that is the truest of stories. It says the whole world just shifted on the strength of one human. Your life is an extraordinary opportunity. Never ever forget that. Live life urgently.
Yep.
And I was like, absolutely, the whole world just shifted on the strength of one.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true.
The hell of a guy, man. In 41 years, y'all. He did it in 41 years.
41 years, man.
That's what I'm saying. I'm living my life. Like, I didn't do some good stuff, but hey, this dude, like you said, he put in the work.
That's right.
He put in the work.
That's right.
He was 4 years younger than me, and I was like, he's a legend, and I got to watch him become legendary. I gotta be honest, my generation is kind of the bomb.
Think about it.
Jackson, we got Jordan.
But I'm about to say,
Kobe.
We caught the 80s matchups, right? I'm Dr. J all the way, because I tell people I can't claim Wilt Chamberlain. I can't even claim the 72 Dolphins, right? I ain't see them. I can just say it happened.
I wasn't even an apple in anybody's eye.
But you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I could claim my Dr. J's. I could claim, Bird and Magic. I could claim Olajuwon and Dominique. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are dudes, like, they weren't on my teams, but these are dudes. And then you get into that Jordan-esque, Karl Malone-esque, all these cats in the 90s. Thomas. And then you get to Kobe. And like I said, just a different type of cat, man. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Hey, FYI, Rick Fox and his hair are alive, and they on TNT right now. Just in case y'all.
Yeah, let it know. They try to put him. They try to body him
in the ground.
Rick Fox.
Rick Fox was like,
he been living that Tyler Perry life.
Nah, he was like, nah, I wasn't. I'm good. I'm good.
He's been living that Tyler Perry life,
Hey, that's all right. He all right. Rick Fox said my hair is flowing too, so don't worry about it. I still got my hair still wavy.
That's it.
All right.
I love it.